Okay, before we begin today's video, I'd first like to state this for the record. I uploaded a video a couple of hours ago, maybe 12 hours ago, and I talked about the constant beefaroni between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. It seems like these two are in their petty bag, and this started long before the Pat McAfee interview with LeBron James. LeBron James pretty much talked about Stephen A. Smith, maybe not in the best light, and Stephen A. Smith had his rebuttal about LeBron talking about him on Pat McAfee. And then Stephen A. Smith just went ballistic on First Take, pretty much, dismantling LeBron James, and I think it's a hit to LeBron James' legacy. Well, not LeBron James' legacy, but more so LeBron James' image. And we've been hearing this stuff about LeBron James for quite some time now. He also talked about how he started off by saying that, I don't know if he started it off, but he did mention that LeBron James is a snake in the grass. He's one of those guys that will stab you behind your back while smiling. He talked about several instances about LeBron James, most notably Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. Now, Stephen A. Smith hopped off the porch and said that LeBron James wasn't at the memorial or the funeral or the service or whatever. And I talked about it, and I wasn't too sure about that one. Because even though I talked about it, I didn't, well, to be perfectly honest, if you listen to my video, I didn't even co-sign to anything that LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith has been talking recently. All right. And when he mentioned this, I had to think for a second. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I wasn't 1,000% sure. But once I uploaded the video, sent the video out, and I even said it in the video, I don't believe that's true, but I did mention that that's what Stephen A. talked about. I did some research. Come to find out, that is not true that Stephen A. Smith mentioned. Now, they said that Stephen A. Smith corrected himself on First Take an hour later, okay? And he also corrected himself on social media. But you know how people love to, hang on to every single word, and they try to find something that you said. And then you can be 1,000% right in your video or in your monologue. You get one thing wrong. They just hamper on that one thing. Okay, trust it. I've been there. Okay. A lot of you guys, I could be 1,000% right on everything. I say one thing. I mention someone's name. I mispronounce someone's name. I misspell someone's name. Or whatever. One little crumb of, not getting it right. And, I'm a human being. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not a robot. I'm not a laptop or anything like that. I'm not AI. Okay. So I'm bound to make mistakes. Okay. But that was a big mistake for Stephen A. Smith to make. All right. I do understand the magnitude of his mistake, but he did correct it himself. So you have to give him some kudos or credit if you're a Stephen A. Supporter or a hater or whatever. But even the Dreamer Pro mentioned this on his live stream. He hopped off the porch and said, see, I told you LeBron wasn't at the memorial of Kobe Bryant. And he went into his, monologue talking about, well, where you think Stephen A. Smith and others are getting that from, because we've been reporting this on YouTube, all right? And he hopped right off the porch on it. If I was a Dreamer Pro, I would have, if you're going to, come down and agree with Stephen A. Smith, you should at least get your stuff together. Make sure that this is true. And now he's eating crow. He since deleted the live stream, but it's too late. It's out there. Once it's on the internet, it's out there, my guy. Okay? And I love the Dreamers Pro, but he really hopped off the fence. I mean, he hopped right off the porch, hopped right over the fence, and he was 10 toes down committed in this in this in this thing that Stephen A. Smith said. It comes out to be that it's not true. Now, Stephen A. Smith did. They said that the second hour first take, he corrected it, and he also did it on social media. But the damage is done. Okay, that's. I'm not gonna. It's bad, but now can we say that everything he said in that monologue wasn't true? I've been saying that forever about LeBron James. How, when Dwayne Wade had his ceremony, he didn't celebrate it. He didn't even attend. Even if he didn't want to attend, you can clearly tell he has a narrative out there that says that I would have won championships anyway. Even if I didn't take my talents to South Beach, I was going to win those titles anyway. I don't think he would have. I've been on the record telling you guys, if he would have stayed his whole entire career with Cleveland, everything that has happened since he took his talent to South Beach, he would have never sniffed a title. All right? And it's not just LeBron James not knowing how to win and not knowing how to be a leader in winning. He knows how to be a leader, but he has no experience in being a leader to take a team to win titles. He had to go all the way down to Miami, join forces with Pat Riley, who already had titles. He already had rings. Had to join forces with Dwayne Wade, who already had titles. Okay? These two guys have been proven to win titles. Went to an organization that won titles, okay? He had to go all the way down there to start the momentum of him winning titles. He had to be around a lot of people that knew what it took and knew what it take to win titles. At that point, LeBron James didn't know how to win a title, okay? But ever since he's been winning his titles, I've been giving his credit, I've been giving his praise, but I don't think LeBron gives a lot of praise to Pat Riley, the Miami Heat organization, and Dwayne Wade. But that's on LeBron James. If he's whenever he retires, is he gonna finally give them credit? I don't know. All right, but that's neither here nor there. So the reason why I'm making this video is the fact that the Lakers lost last night in a buzzer beater. LeBron James was playing Ole defense. The guy threw up a half-court shot. Josh threw up a half-court shot, and they won the ball game. And now you're starting to see a lot, and I said this in yesterday's video. You're going to see a lot of press or, media influencers starting to, dig in, be very critical of LeBron James. I said that in that video. I said, watch, it's going to be it's going to be a lot of people starting to be more critical of LeBron James. When they was more passive aggressive, when they was giving LeBron James the benefit of a doubt, when they was giving LeBron James excuses, when they were blaming every time LeBron James and his teams had failures, they would blame it on someone else. They did it to Darvin Ham. They did it to Westbrook. They have done it to other coaches and other players, saying he's the reason why they're struggling right now, or that system is the reason why they're struggling right now, or that coach is the reason why they're struggling right now, or that owner is the reason why they're struggling right now. Now you're starting to see a lot of media members, including Shannon Sharpe, who are being they're giving LeBron his praise, but they're also giving LeBron James criticism, and it's much needed. It's about damn time that you guys quit being on a pivot saying, well, I don't want to, bruise LeBron's ego and ruin my relationships with LeBron, so I'm going to go half-ass on this analysis about LeBron James and his performance and the Lakers and their performance. I don't want to, ruffle any feathers. Now, like on Nightcap, LeBron was very critical on, Shannon Sharpe was very critical of LeBron James on his poor defense on Josh, and he was the reason why they won that game. All right, because of LeBron's lack of defense. But LeBron hasn't played both sides of the court in a very, very long time. And no one has never, taken him to task about that. Now, there has been a few here and there, but they've pretty much been on an island. Skip Bayless is one of those guys that, talks about how LeBron James is not even, playing both sides of the ball, And, that's probably because he's an older player. He has to reserve his energy, and he reserves it a lot on the offensive side of things. And that explains why, he's taken an onus of being more offensive awareness than defensive awareness. That's why he's got the scoring title, okay? But he also, there's some other things that he's done wrong as far as offensive wise that he's setting records for as well. But no one never was critical of LeBron. When it's time to play defense, LeBron James would throw players on his defender, and he would just pretty much get out of the picture, okay? And I listed the reasons why he's done that. But now you're starting to see an avalanche of reporters saying, no, wait a minute, all right? And I told you guys, it's going to be a lot of people being more critical of LeBron James. And they're not going to just let him slide on his mistakes. Now, TNT, Charles, Chuck, and Kenny, I haven't heard a peep out of them. Okay, I'm pretty sure when it's their time on their program, they're going to mention the LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith, saga continues with their beef. But I think out of the three, I think Kenny is going to try to focus on court things that are on the court. I think Shaq is going to make a joke about it, laugh about it, but he's passive aggressive. He's more of a LeBron protector. So of course he's going to stand up for LeBron, and Chuck is going to tell it like it is. All right, good, bad, or indifferent. Now, you may like Chuck and you may disagree with Chuck. There have been moments I said Chuck is spot on, but there's also moments that I'm like scratching my head, like what, I don't think Chuck is right on this. But the one thing day in and day out you can rely on with Charles Barkley is he's going to be consistent. Okay, he's going to call it like he sees it. All right, and I think out of the three, he's going to be the one that's going to, hey, like, look, all right, I understand why you don't want to, tell it, want to be real about this incident, and Kenny as well. But truth be told, and that's when we're going to get it. So I think, him doing that Pat McAfee thing, I think he opened up Pandora's box, and now he's giving writers, he's giving journalists, he's giving podcasts, members, or, he's giving the media world an open invitation to be critical, because he just said on the Pat McAfee, he has no issue with people being critical. And there have been moments where LeBron James has been very sensitive to a lot of people's criticism about not only his performance, but the decisions he had made for the number of teams he's been on. All right. So, yeah, that's all I got for this. You saw the bomb drop with Shannon Sharpe being I have never seen Shannon Sharpe has been critical of LeBron James. Okay. He has moments. And that pretty much explains why he's never going to get LeBron to join Club Shay Shay, because he has had moments here and there, but the most part, he's been passive aggressive to LeBron James. And you would think that LeBron would have went on Club Shay Shay before he went on Pat McAfee. But Pat McAfee is one of those guys that he's not going to ruffle anybody's feathers. He has a platform, and he demonstrated it with Aaron Rodgers, where you can go on that platform. I'm not going to ask you a bunch of softball questions. It's pretty much, you come on my platform, we're just shooting the shit, and whatever you say is cool. All right? He's not going to throw any hardball questions at you. And he's just not even going to throw softball questions. Pat McAfee just going to let you talk. All Pat McAfee is interested in is building his platform. And there's a reason why ESPN paid him a lot of money. Because, Aaron Rodgers had the freedom to come on that platform and speak his mind and say his piece. You got LeBron James echoing those same sentiments. And you're going to start to see a lot of athletes make more and more appearances on Pat McAfee, because that's the safe place to go. All right. So, yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. Tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.